I graduated in high school when I was 16, and I went in the service. Well, first I went to LSU for 2 semesters, and then got out and went in the service. And when I was going to Camp Shelby, when we were training and we'd have a weekend, I used to drive over here in my Model A Ford, and you get in here sometime around Friday night, and then spend Saturday and Sunday at noon we left and drove back, you know. And a couple of the friends that were in the service with me, and I studied pre-med when I went to LSU before I went in the service. And after I finished the basic training, they put me in as a medic on a combat engineer battalion. And when you were on this side, when you were going through, they figured it was some goose off. I wasn't working, and just sitting around waiting for something to happen. Well, when we got over into France, it's a different story. That's the only guy gonna stop and take care of them. See, so they were very grateful for being a medic, because whenever something happened, they always hollered, "Medic!" You know, I said, you got to go and help them. You know, that's what I did my job. It was across what they call the Sieg River in Germany, and we were had to cross that river, which was, I guess it was, I don't know, a pretty good size. And I've got some pictures in there that shows all of that. So I went across one of these pontoon bridges because somebody would holler medic over the other side, so I went across. And they were under fire, and I got a hold of 3 of them. One of them had died, and the other 2 had been hurt, and I drug them into
a safe place.
Into a safe place, and took care of them while the troops went on and fought there on the way away from there.
Orders were given to retreat, and you had gone back to get some of your comrades, right?
That's right.
And so at that point, you were just, it seems like it was a pretty selfless act to do, huh?
Well, very little compared to some others that did things, but they were handing medals around, and so they figured I needed to have one, which I got. I was young to begin with, and you just had to forget about it and go about your business. There are other people that I knew that had worse experiences than I did, because fortunately I was never shot, you know. But you just get to put it away with it, you know. And you can't ever really forget it, but you just try to look at the bright side, if there were bright sides that you could see. Because I followed those guys for 2 years, you know, and everywhere they went, I went with them to look after them, to see what they needed, any help or anything, you know.
Would they call you Doc?
Well, they did. They called me medic, you know. And I tell the story that we hadn't had it hadn't been we were too much in the front lines, and hadn't had a hot meal in God knows when. So they brought us back and took us back. They had a good meal. So, but I couldn't get in line right away because I was doing something else. And so when I got to the end of the line, these guys said, "Medic, come on up here, come on up here." And so they made me go all the way to the front of the line to be the first ones to get the food up there, see. And it's not because of me, but because I was a medic. It could have been anybody that was there that had a Red Cross on them. And so I got to get it at first, and I was there after the D-Day situation, but I came over from England into France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, and Austria. Well, this was on Christmas Eve one time, and I was visiting with a friend of ours, Sigmund New, and from Plaquemine. And my father's attorney was Paul Warren, which was Ann's father, yeah. And so I met her. We went to their house because Ann was a cousin of this guy that I was with. And I went by their house, and they were going to take us out for the evening. And there was Ann with all of her relatives there, and the little girl, you know. And that's when I first met Ann. And then it just grew from that, you know. And then, of course, I had to let her grow up a little bit, you know. Yeah, well, we lived here, what, for 2 years? Benson, he was born in October the 2nd. And 2 years later, Derry was born. And I grew him up. Benson had 3 girls, and Derry had 4 children, and they adopted 5. So they had 9 children living in Omaha, Nebraska. When we head back, we were able to stop by that old church where we grew up in, the Church of the Nativity. Yeah. And that's where I was baptized, and all my children were baptized. But the grandchildren didn't get all baptized. I got a few of those, but.
You must remember this, a kiss.
It's been wonderful. We've enjoyed together. We've enjoyed our children and still enjoy them, you know, and grandchildren. And now we've got a new great-grandchild now. And so all of that's been pretty good. I'm now almost 84 years old. And I've outlived all of my parents and my brother and my sister. And I'm still here.
When you think about your kids and grandkids and all that, what would you like to impart upon them? I mean, what kind of what wisdom and experiences and all that would you disseminate to some of your?
Well, I really think that they should concentrate a great deal on their feelings about Christianity and be good Christian people, and study, be useful, and love one another, you know. If I could get them to do that, that would be enough.
Love us as time goes by. And love songs never out of date, hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. Woman needs man, and man must have his mate, that no one can deny. It's still the same old story, a fight for love and glory, a case of do or die.